What's up, babies? Welcome to a deep dive. Now, if you're familiar with Jomboy Media and the breakdowns that he does, this show that I'm doing is taking heavy inspiration from it. I just figured that Counter-Strike is not a game that Jomboy is going to talk about in that video format, and I think there's interesting stuff to talk about that would be neat framed as that. And to go over some of the criteria, the rounds or games or series that we're going to look at have to have a great impact on other stuff around it in the game, and or be like a popular clip that has a less than immediately known aspect to it that would be interesting to highlight, and or have something just funny about it, like just hysterical to the point where it's like it needs to be pointed out. And as well, just has to be interesting enough for me to feel like I can talk about it in such a format. And the story of this first map on Train between Splice and CLG is the story of the CTs never being able to establish their own economy. T-sides were able to both plant the bomb a lot and win a lot of 1v1s, and in the state that the game was in economy-wise at the time in 2016 is when if you won a round, any loss bonus that you had built up was lost, and you're reset down to the minimum loss bonus. That means if you were at max loss bonus, you lost a couple times in a row, and you won one gun round and lost the round following that, you had no money. And this was what was happening exactly in the CLG vs Splice game here on Train. Splice went up 6-0 on the T side. They were planning a lot. Freakazoid was getting a lot of multi-frag kills. And the first round CLG are able to win. It was on a very shaky semi-full buy because the force buys in the round prohibited them from having like a full-on like 4 rifles and an op. And the rest of the half just played out like a bunch of 1v1s going the way of Splice, and just CLG was never able to make up any ground economy-wise. They only end up winning 4 rounds at the end on the favored side on Train. As bad as CLG are losing at the end of the first half on the advantage side, in Tier 2, Tier 1.5 NA, Tier 3-ish for Splice being a pickup team. The better team between professionals who play a lot of officials together and a pickup team who have 3/5 of a professional team plus 2 pickups. The team with more chemistry and the more time together are going to be able to take an inch and go a mile with it. They only need one chance to gain momentum to be able to win. And we see that play out pistol round of the second half, where CLG pick up pistol round, they win the next 2 full gun round, and then the save. So rounds 21 and 22, Splice are able to pick up their first 2 rounds on CT side. However, the economy being as shaky as it was and them not being able to keep as many people alive as they would have liked, they get reset again after CLG win. They force the score to 13-11. However, Splice is able to squeeze out 2 extra rounds to force map point on CLG, so CLG's backs are against the wall at this point. And in the first match point that Splice have, CLG have very little money and have to force buy 4 Tech 9s and 1 AK, and very quickly lose 2 as they're rushing into the lower bomb site on B. And this is very close to the moment that everybody knows, the funny ha-has, the point and laughs for Summit1G. And this is the round that Splice could have secured 1 map against a Tier 1 NA team. However, down 3-5, CLG managed to scrape back 4 kills against Splice while only losing 1 extra, which forces Summit1G into the 1v2, where he quickly dispatches the low HP pistol player in front of him. And then he's in a 1v1 with Fugly, which he forces the gunfight with after mauling him out. However, after the gunfight, when we see Summit look to the side to give Freakazoid a fist bump, we can tell by the trajectory that he's walking that he's not going to like turn at all. He's walking straight, and where he's walking straight to is the fire that he threw.
Oh no! Summit! No!
Now in Go, the spread of the Molotovs was a lot less consistent than it is in CS2, so it's not like excusable what happened, but Summit1G just doesn't expect the Molotov to spread the way it does, and he walks through the end stages of the Molotov, does a lot more damage than the beginning. And just like the rest of the map, because they lost on the CT side after securing a couple rounds, their economy was just completely destroyed, so CLG was able to force overtime, and then once there, they're able to squeeze out the win without much resistance. And then moving on to Dust 2, looking at the score itself, you would think it was a lot closer of a game than it was, but there was no point during the match where CLG felt like they were down at all. JDM was tired of being slapped around by a Tier 3 pickup team and decided to drop 25-5 on the first half, and after Splice losing map 1 in the fashion that they did, just every round after that felt deflated, even though they're able to compile 10 rounds in that second map on Dust 2 because of the nature of MR15. The better team was able to let the worst team win some rounds while still keeping them at an arm's reach. especially if they're able to control their economy while they're losing, instead of losing in unfortunate fashions and then winning by only keeping 1 or 2 people alive. Thank everybody for watching. Let me know what you thought of this video format in the comments. I definitely want to do more of these. There are other rounds I want to explore. I just think it's fun being like, this was cool and here's how it affected a series. If there are any suggestions for specific rounds or series of rounds or games or series, also comment that down in the comment section. Subscribe if you enjoy the video format. There are a couple others that I do also make with frag movies and tutorials. It's another card I'm going to be putting in my hand that I can play. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTuber stuff. Got any friends that like listening to people talk about competitive Counter-Strike? I can yap. Boy, I can yap.